And Tesla's becoming a FANG, but we were asking the question, this was 2015, could Bitcoin serve the three roles of money? Think about that if we lose China. At the margin, China has been responsible for a tremendous amount of cyclical growth.
Right.
And
exactly.
commodity price inflation. We're using growth. We're using spectacular growth rates that no one is expecting. And Tesla was our first proof of concept, I would say, a very visible one, where people were saying, what are they talking about? And all we had done was used Wright's Law, which is the centerpiece of our research, to try and figure out how quickly costs would decline in battery pack systems, and therefore how much prices would fall for electric vehicles and how quickly the uptake would be. Well, the most important call that we made initially with Tesla was, all right, Tesla's battery technology is unlike any other auto manufacturer's battery technology. Tesla was riding down the cost curve of the consumer electronics industry. So laptops, cell phones, huge volumes, right? And when you get a scaling like that, costs come down. It's called a learning curve in the tech industry. So Elon, you had auto manufacturers and auto analysts laughing at him. Elon is building his car on top of cell phone batteries. Isn't that funny? And what they didn't believe was that the engineering was possible.
Right.
So there was they just didn't think it was possible. And he did. And so even today, these cylindrical batteries that he's been using relative to lithium-ion pouch, lower cost and will remain lower cost for at least 3 years, we think, which means that any other auto manufacturer who wants the same performance and the same range at the same price will have to lose money on every car sold. They're well owned, and we just want our clients to be exposed to the next FANGs, which are not going to be in the FANG category, but the next FANGs. And Tesla's becoming a FANG. I think it will end up in that grouping at some point. We would sell. So our minimum hurdle rate of return expectation for a stock is 15% at an annualized rate over 5 years. So a doubling over 5 years. Tesla is about nearly a quadrupling over 5 years, so well within our range. So, we have been taking profits, and that's because Tesla in here, I think it's becoming very obvious now that electric vehicles are taking massive share from traditional gas-powered vehicles. And so the stock finally is responding to that reality, because that has been true.
Bounce back.
Yes, it has, whereas much of our portfolio has still been in a bit of a weak spot. So this is called portfolio management. That's all this is. There are two very powerful secular forces. The two secular forces, one is good and one is bad. The good one is innovation. Innovation is inherently deflationary. And because we do the analysis using Wright's Law, we can tell you how deflationary. Just to give you a sense, artificial intelligence training costs are dropping 68% per year. Think about that. We've never seen anything like that. And artificial intelligence is starting really a technology war. The companies with the biggest pools of data, the highest quality data, the best AI expertise, with the best domain expertise in the genomic space, curing disease, and here's the incentive. So the human being has to set the goal and the reward system, but the machine's now just training itself. And those costs are dropping 68% per year. AI is going to be a part of every industry. So Bitcoin specifically, we got involved when it was a $6 billion market cap, and here's Art Laffer again in my life and in ARC's life. It was a $6 billion cap then. Now it's over $1 trillion, but we were asking the question, this was 2015, could Bitcoin serve the three roles of money? And we came to the conclusion that it was possible. Art Laffer collaborated, he tore our original paper up, and as we were going through it, he said, this is the rules-based monetary system I've been waiting for since we left the gold exchange standard, 1971.
Right.
And I said to him, oh, how big could this be? And he said, well, how big is the US monetary base? And back then, remember, this is a $6 billion cap. Back then, it was a $4.5 trillion monetary base. Today, we're at $8.5 trillion. And Bitcoin's at $1 trillion. I think the most fascinating thing that's happening is in El Salvador. Have you heard? They deemed Bitcoin, the president, who tweets every day, deemed Bitcoin legal tender.
It was a Bloomberg quiz question.
Okay.
We do it every week.
Anyway. Okay. And sent a Chivo wallet to everyone in the population eligible, so 4 million. 3 million, it had $30 worth of Bitcoin in it. 3 million have downloaded it. Only 1.2 million in that country have a banking relationship. So this is the new bank, digital wallets, and it's going to be true in this country, it's going to be true around the world. I think China's taking it more seriously because there's probably more social unrest than we now appreciate. What I don't understand is they're going after real estate, which is 75% of the consumer savings in China.
Individuals in China.
And if yes, individual saving. If the prices are going down, which they have been, I think that could really hurt consumer confidence. I think it already is. And then last weekend, or the weekend before, the government, the national government, went after the regulators who had focused on the financial industry, as well as the financial institutions. And I'm just saying, wow, they're playing with fire.
It's a moving, yeah.
And talk about a cyclical risk out there. Think about that if we lose China. At the margin, China has been responsible for a tremendous amount of cyclical growth.
Right.
And
Exactly.
commodity price inflation. We think one of the most interesting opportunities out there that is in the value space is biotech and maybe some pharma. Those companies that we see embracing the convergence between and among DNA sequencing, artificial intelligence, and CRISPR gene editing, gene therapies generally, we're very interested in because the returns on their R&D investment in the last 20 years have dropped, this is on average for the industry, from 20% to 7%. We believe with especially artificial intelligence, trial failures will reduce. There will be a reduction by at least 25%. Could be a lot more. The time to market could be 25% less. And so we could go back to the golden age. Now, not every company is embracing these, but those who are, and Pfizer, with some of its moves into base editing, is intriguing us here, as is Regeneron and Vertex. I'll just throw out a number. It's fresh and it's subject to revision, but we were assuming that in the next 10 years, artificial intelligence would deliver, in the enterprise software space, would deliver a market cap opportunity of $30 trillion, okay? From tens of billions today. Our new number is 80 trillion. And from tens of billions today. So we think that is the big new frontier, but it's going to be in transportation, autonomous taxi technology, autonomous trucks, drones, and so forth. It is in genomics, and so it's going to make these platforms come alive and evolve much faster than even we thought was possible.
Right.
I mean, this 30 trillion was a 2-year-ago number. Now we're up to
that's double.
Now we're almost tripled. We definitely welcome the competition because, again, I still think there's a massive misallocation of capital to the past. And the more to the future, the more the US keeps its competitive advantage and the world solves problems, right? And the world becomes a better place. If they have not reorganized their research departments in the way I just described, then I don't think they're really competing with us. The way we're doing it.
Because you do it differently.
We do. We do it differently. And there are more ways to do this than just the way we're doing it. But I think the depth to which our analysts go into these technologies has never been done on Wall Street before. And that's, again, because we set up the firm to do that.